Aye. Senator Rose, Representative Wade. I'm Rebecca Perry. I'm a graduate student at Western Kentucky University working on my master's in social work, and I'm a resident of Madisonville in Hopkins County. Part of our class course assignments in social work 630 Rural Social Welfare Policy with Dr. Karan Okra is to look at a bill before the state legislature for this session. And Dr. Karan gave us choices, and I chose House Bill 14, which is a bill that pertains to child welfare, falling under KRS, Kentucky Revised Statute 620, which I'm sure, as you both well know, covers the majority of the child welfare and addresses the way the Cabinet of Health and Family Services works with child welfare and the statutes that cover it. House Bill 14 is an act, and I'm sure you both are aware of it, relating to school notification by the Cabinet to notify schools if, as a result, straight out about how the act reads, that the Cabinet notifies the principal, assistant principal, or guidance counselor of the school in which the child is enrolled of the names of people authorized to contact the child at school in accordance with school visitation or communication policy, or remove the child from school grounds. For any child that is granted to the Cabinet through an emergency, temporary, or permanent court order due to dependency, neglect, abuse, the notification to the school shall be provided orally by the Cabinet on the day the court order is entered, and again on any day that a change is made with regard to persons authorized to contact or remove the child from school. And then again by written documentation within 10 calendar days following a change of custody or change in contact or change in removal authority of a child from school grounds. The Cabinet's mandate to provide the information required to the school by this new section to KRS 620 ceases when the court order under which the Cabinet acts is rescinded or otherwise expires. One of the pros that I see to this bill is that children are protected from being removed by schools by unauthorized people, or in a possible risk of harm situation by the school not knowing what kind of court order has transpired. So it brings together two entities, the court system and the education system, to work cooperatively to keep children safe, to inform teachers about what is occurring in a child's life that they may not otherwise know about. It allows for the legal exchange of information for the benefit of a child, as in all issues regarding children, confidentiality matters a great deal. The con I see to this is the ability of the school to track and keep up with who a child can leave with and who a child can't. This is an added burden on a school system, as is so often the case in rural areas that may already be stretched thin due to uh, staffing cutbacks. It could end up dropped and a child could be put at harm's risk and in harm's way unintentionally. And then someone's going to have to answer for that. The other con I see to it is basically the same one that affects the school system. The need for extra staffing, the need for a tracking system that doesn't get dropped, the desire of um, the cabinet to do this would be a given. But in many rural areas, no different than here in Hopkins County, social workers and the ability to retain them through incentives and through pay is difficult. The other con I see to this is the same one that I spoke to for schools, for the education system. If it gets dropped and puts a child in harm's way, the wrong person picks the child up before it can get called in immediately after a court order has been submitted and signed by a judge. Someone's going to be held accountable. So, though the bill is good, and helps support safety for children in all situations, which should be our goal every day, not only in education and as social workers, but as a community, to want to protect the most vulnerable populations, which children certainly are of that, is good. The inner workings of it would have to be looked at. I looked when I looked this HB 14 up. It's gone to the Education Committee to be looked at by September 5th of this year. It would be good if it was looked at not only by and sent to the Education Committee, but also jointly by the Cabinet, so that there's a cooperation built before it ever comes into uh, being, or before it ever comes down into counties like where I live in Hopkins County. I appreciate your time, and I really appreciate your service to our community. And I hope your time in Frankfort with the legislature this session is fruitful. And I thank you.